Hi, Edward. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Yulia. Happy to be here.
So let's start that podcast episode with a little meditation. Usually I like doing those just to ground ourselves and arrive in that space.
Okay.
Let's start closing our eyes. And for our listeners out there, you can either join us or you can skip that part and go straight to our conversation. And just a little side note, you might hear some sounds. That is the jungle around us. We're at the Nicks, and that's in the middle of the Balinese rice fields and jungle. So I hope you don't mind. Let's start to take 3 deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. As you breathe out, release any tension. As you breathe in, gain new energy. And just take that moment to settle into the space. Arrive in the present moment. Leave everything that is in the past behind you and that is in the future ahead of you. Be right here. And do a little body scan. With every breath out, relax a little bit more into your seat. And try to slow your breath down. Use your breathing to create space within. And then bring your awareness a little bit more outside. Feel the air around you, the space around you, the sounds. And just be aware of your body in the space. Then place your palms together in front of your heart. Rest them slightly against your heart. And then rub your hands against each other to create heat. Put them in front of your eyes. Feel the warmth you created. And slowly blink your eyes open.
Nice.
All right. I needed that. I feel like.
Yeah, me too.
That was good. Even if it was short, it was.
Yeah.
It always makes a change for me.
Yeah, me too. Thank you for that.
Thank you. So I often like to start my podcast with short questions and short answers.
Okay.
So my first one would be if you would describe your essence in 3 words.
My essence in 3 words.
Or like words that describe you. What comes to mind?
Say, it's coming through right now, is passionate, truth, vitality.
Awesome. I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then another one. If you could transport yourself to any time, place, or even universe, where would you want to be?
Any universe.
Yeah, can be anywhere.
I've been really into dragons recently. So a universe where dragons are fully present there in their magical presence, castles, enchanted times. Yeah, it's a place where magic is real.
Wow, that does sound magical. I feel like we're a little bit in a place like that.
I feel that as well. Yeah.
Okay, another one. What is your guilty pleasure if it comes down to sustainable practices?
Sustainable. What's a sustainable practice?
You can define it.
Guilty pleasure? I mean, I do love a good cheesecake. I don't know if that's a sustainable practice.
That's not too bad. New York cheesecake is pretty good, right? That's the area where you're from.
And then in the States, we have this place called Cheesecake Factory.
Mm-hmm.
You heard about it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I never had it, but I heard about it.
When I go back home, it's to see my family, my friends, and to get this cheesecake.
The cheesecake.
Yeah.
Nice. I have to try it one day.
It's like 1,200 calories a slice. It's a bit crazy, but it's worth it.
But it makes you happy. That's worth it then.
Yeah.
And where did you feel most home?
I feel here right now in Bali.
Nice.
Yeah, with the people, the lifestyle, the open-mindedness, the connection to nature, the spirit, each other.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like this is the place I feel most at home right now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you are where you need to be.
Yeah, definitely.
Great. So I would like to know a little bit more about you and kind of a little bit of your background, your upbringing.
Sure.
Because we talk a lot in that podcast about home and community, and
yeah.
one of our first communities is our family.
Yeah, sure.
Right? So maybe you can give us a little idea of how your home used to look like, where you grew up.
Yeah, happy to. So I'm from New Jersey in the States. But it starts with my family. So my parents are actually from Ukraine, former Soviet Union. So they immigrated to America in like 1989, 1990. I was born a couple years later. So I grew up in America in an immigrant household. So that was an interesting experience because them being immigrants, not really speaking the language, they didn't teach me too much about the culture. I had to kind of learn about it through my own personal experience. But growing up, I mean, my parents, they came to America with nothing, had no money. They had just the American dream. And yeah, our temple really helped take care of us. They gave us pots and pans and gave me like toys and all this sort of stuff. So I guess growing up was interesting because the immigrant mentality is to be very, very frugal, save every dollar, reinvest it back into your children. And usually the immigrant story is the parents are always kind of like struggling for a while. But for me, my parents, my mom's an engineer, my dad was an electrician and a contractor. Take a sip of water.
Yeah, okay.
And yeah, I grew up in the suburbs in New Jersey, and it was amazing when I look back at it. I was able to play sports and video games and extracurricular activities. And my parents were always working all of the time. So I didn't get to see them as much as maybe I would have liked to growing up, but they spent all their time like working so me and my sister could have an amazing quality of life. So that's kind of how, the childhood was. And growing up, I mean, I went to summer camp every summer. So that was a place where I got to really go out of my shell, meet new friends, try different things like sports and activities and games. And yeah, I'd say growing up, it was just me and my sister. We didn't have many cousins or things like that. So it was like a close thing in terms of like my family just spending time with us and my grandparents. And yeah, anything else you'd like to know like specifically?
So your grandparents also came to the US?
Yeah. My grandparents, they were not living with us, but living like close to us, but they really helped raise me as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, something I would be interested about is, so your parents were born in Ukraine, former Soviet Union.
Yeah.
Do you think like were these topics of communism brought up in family conversations and their time back in the Soviet Union? Like I am from Germany and lived in Berlin. I have a part of my family in Berlin where the East-West conflict is very present. Our country was divided in two only until 1 year before I was born. So these two ideologies are still very present within one country. And yeah, it seems like capitalism and the American way of living just took over, but there's still some the topic of communism is still, I think, interesting.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, it definitely went wrong, but it's interesting just talking about communities and even seeing if there's things that we can learn from that time. So, but of course, being from Ukraine, that's even further there. So I'm just curious.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think for my parents, like they really wanted to leave that whole system because they just the access to opportunity, the whole live your dream type of thing was just a foreign concept. So coming to America, even though they had no money, they're like, this is not my opportunity to make something for myself. So they really bought into the whole American dream and the capitalist approach, and it worked. They became successful in all these sort of things. And for me, it's interesting because I really appreciate where they come from and seeing, wow, I can't ever really understand like communism and what that was like and growing up in America. So I'm grateful for my upbringing. And at the same time, growing up, I always felt a bit dissatisfied in a way because I just knew that life could be so much more. Like, even though we have these jobs and we're making good money, I could see that people weren't super healthy and happy and fulfilled. So having that helps me to be grounded. And like, even though I see things that could be done so much better in the world and how we all live, it's a lot better than where we come from.
Yeah.
So I can be like grounded in that gratitude and also see, oh wow, there's a whole world of how maybe life can be.
Right. And so your parents basically, I mean, obviously they left the Soviet Union because they wanted a better life. And back then, the US was really that land of plenty where you could just be free to do what you want and become successful in life. What about today? I feel like when I hear stories back in the 60s, for example, about the US, it was really a country of many opportunities. And now I see a lot, even here in Bali, a lot of Americans who are leaving the US.
Yeah, sure.
Like you. Why are you not living in the US? You mentioned it a little bit, but maybe you can dive more into why you decide to travel and live abroad and you're not building your life within the US.
Yeah, sure. I think the US is still amazing in many ways. There is access to like education and opportunity. So it still is great from that perspective. But me personally, why I left, I mean, a bunch of reasons, I guess. I just personally wasn't very fulfilled. Felt like a lot of people are just going through the motions. There's no like passion and excitement. And it exists, of course, it's a big country. But the places I was staying in, New York, tried Los Angeles, San Diego, it was just like missing this essence of community, living life in a way where we're just more free. Where I feel like here in Bali, maybe it's because a lot of us are entrepreneurial in nature, but you know, we hung out a couple of days ago. You're like, hey, come over and do a podcast. You know, so having like that freedom, that connection to nature, that connection to the divine, these sort of things I felt aren't as prevalent there as they are here. And yeah, and just like the open-mindedness as well. And there isn't like just this culture of politics and all this sort of stuff. So just kind of getting rid of that. And in America, when I just looked at it, basically, you know, every single institution seemed pretty corrupt, from agriculture to medicine to education to all these things. And again, it's still great in some ways, but just seeing what it is, I wanted to go somewhere where there's just more of an open-mindedness and connection to the truth of who we are, and we can live in a way that's more harmonious and healthy.
And you feel like you found it here in Bali?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yes. It's a very special place.
Yeah.
So you're living something that we could call a digital nomad lifestyle, because you were in Egypt last week. Now you're back here in Bali. It's quite like big distances and cultures. how do you sustain your income living that lifestyle?
Yeah, a couple of different main ways. One, I have an engineering company in New Jersey, and I always knew I wanted to travel and have this freedom. So it's a family business. I took over. My mom's an amazing engineer. It's an engineering company. And when it comes to working on the business, that's not something she's as strong at. So there's like working in the business, working on the business. So she's an amazing engineer. But when it comes to like the business, the operations, the systems, recruiting, finance, accounting, legal, all these things that make a business really work, that's where I came in. And I very, very, very intentionally built it in a way where I don't have to be there physically. So that's one of the main sources of income. And then I've also been investing for the last 8 years.
Can you tell me a little bit more about the investing component?
Yeah, sure. Start off with trading, so day trading Forex. And now I have some real estate investments, mainly in Bali at the moment. And then also crypto has been doing good for me.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
What would you say is like the easiest, so if there are people out there who are like, man, I want to have his lifestyle and also go travel, but maybe they don't have that company or like family business.
Sure.
And they want to do trading or investing, which would be the easiest way to get into that, would you say?
Well, it's all hard. To be an entrepreneur isn't easy. I don't think it's for everyone. And investing is very difficult as well. So between the two, I would really more focus on developing skills, because investing is a skill, trading is a skill. And then within that entrepreneur business, there are a lot of skills I had to develop to really make that business work. Learning how to do recruiting, learning how to do operations, learning how to do sales and business development and branding. So I always heard like skills pay the bills. So I would focus on certain like high income skills that can then translate where you can still do it online.
Okay, that's a good advice.
Yeah, thanks.
So we both worked on a project or like on a podcast for one of your projects called Alchemy Finance.
Yeah.
That you worked on. Maybe you can tell me a little bit about that, because I thought it was super interesting how you combined finances with spirituality.
Sure.
And as spirituality is something important to you, maybe you can explain how you combined these two topics.
Yeah, I'm just interested in the truth of how this world operates. And we've heard of things like, obviously, like gravity and electricity, and there's like true, like what's subjective truth, what's objective truth. And it's a big conversation and a big discovery that I'm in. But basically I started learning about like manifestation and health and these sort of things in a very tangible way. So spirituality to me isn't some like woo-woo thing. It's like truly understanding the nature of reality and how we engage with it in a way that then produces results, success, happiness, health, fulfillment, our dreams. So I started applying that to investing and trading in such a way where really connecting with my intuition, connecting with what I feel and see is true by like focusing so much on truth. And then with trading and investing especially, you have to really be aware of your emotions and your internal state of being, as it is with like manifestation and spirituality and these sort of things. Like, how am I feeling? How am I thinking? How am I behaving? And when combining these things together, helps me to be more grounded, make more sound decisions, be more like connected to, am I making a decision based out of fear or greed or, you know, whatever these emotions are? Or is it a place where like, no, like I feel confident and I trust myself. And I also the connection to surrendering to what's out of my control. And there's most of the things in this world I feel like we don't truly understand, but that doesn't mean I can't still operate in this world and have that faith and that trust, but also not be delusional and be confident. So it's like this mix of what's in my control, what's out of my control. And and then like connecting to that and then letting go.
Yeah, that's super interesting. It's a topic I've been like thinking about recently and talking with friends. Is this, I like had that image of creating a framework in a sense, like setting a set of maybe rules or planning to, you know, if you want something to like plan it as good as possible and put an intention. But then once you're in it and it's happening, let go, right? Because once you're in it and then you're still hanging on to, maybe I should change something or maybe I should not do it, then it's already happening. You're in it, you did all the preparation. And I think the preparation is important too, so that you don't doubt it when you're there, but then when you're there, let go.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And also I realized, especially in the last like couple years, that my plan is limited. Like I don't fully understand like how much better it can be. So my mentor taught me, like, whenever I'm asking for something, always ask for whatever it is or better. You know, I want to make this amount of money per month or better. I want to be able to live this kind of life or better. So I'm never limiting myself given my current understanding of the situation.
Yeah.
So there's a combination of, it's not just like, oh, let's see what happens. It's like, no, let's be intentional, plan, execute, and let go.
Yeah.
And I feel like you have that combination of things, then the serendipity and the synchronicities and these things happen.
And then you can start flowing.
Exactly.
But for example, with an instrument, we're in a music studio, you cannot start flow with an instrument if you didn't learn how to play, right? Yeah. If someone gives you a guitar, but you never learned how to play the guitar, it will not be fun. But precisely. If you then just hold on like just the notes, then you will also not get in that flow state.
Yeah.
Because once you know all the skills, then you actually can like let go and really become get in that state of flow.
Yeah. My friend told me something very similar. He was like, when you learn these things, then it gives the divine more ways to express through you. Whether it's playing an instrument, you learn the basics, and now you could just actually flow because you have enough. Dancing is the same, where you really learn how to dance in a certain way. I'm not a dancer yet, maybe one day. But yeah, I could just see it where when we develop these skills and put in like a level of practice and have some level of comfortability and skill, then yeah, things can just flow.
Yeah.
So that's cool. It's like there's a way to achieve flow. It's not just, doesn't just happen. There is an intentionality and practicality to it.
Yeah. Whereas I think in dance, it's a little bit different. I feel like dancing is something that's super accessible to everyone.
Yeah.
Where, if you know, of course, you can get in a different flow state if you know choreography and, but you can also just like go wild on music and like get in an ecstatic state without having to do a choreography, and you can still get into state, I think, because dancing is one of my passions, and I used to do dance courses and I liked it, but there was also this little bit of frustration because I was like, man, there's so many steps and things to remember, and I had that feeling I have to do so much to get in that state where I just like do the movements without thinking. And then I discovered ecstatic dance, where you don't need any steps or rules, and you can just freely express your movements and play with your body and enjoy the music. So I feel like, dancing is something awesome where you can access that state without needing to learn anything.
Yeah, I agree. I guess for me, because I didn't ever do any dancing growing up. So even when I tried doing ecstatic dance, I had people tell me like, oh, your feet are just stuck in the ground. And I wasn't able to fully move. So just learning a couple basics where it wasn't technique, but it would just help me to loosen up my body.
Yeah.
And then,
some guidance.
Some little guidance for those of us who have no experience or comfortability. But then once I was able to get more comfortable, then dancing's a beautiful thing.
5 rhythm dance is something else I can recommend because they often guide it a little bit more through states, similar to ecstatic dance, but there's a little bit more guidance. I don't know if they have it here in Bali, but
I've heard about it, but never tried it.
Yeah,
so check it out sometime.
All right. So I want to dive a little bit in another bigger project of yours, which is civilization design.
Okay.
So maybe you can tell us about it, as this podcast is about, also new ways of living and new homes, new spaces. I feel like you're going in a similar direction. So please.
Absolutely. Yeah, if I had to describe civilization design, it's basically a first principles approach to redesigning human civilization. First principles thinking, for those who don't know, it's basically looking at a problem with no basic assumptions. We really look at it from the ground up. And to truly redesign civilization, what would that mean? What would that look like? So from the structures that we live in, the buildings that we live in, the clothing that we wear, the language that we speak, the economic systems we use, how we farm, how we just really exist on this planet, because I just feel we're not truly living in harmony with nature, with each other, and with the divine. So that's the overall vision, is like redesigning civilization in such a way that does really bridge that connection between each other, nature, and the divine. And the way going about creating that and making that happen, it's a co-creation. I'm never pretending like I have all the answer is it's surrounding myself with people who are experts in these different fields. So the first piece of the puzzle is creating a business incubator, which I've been working on for years, you could say. We met, maybe we were even talking about it before, but it's creating an incubator that's focused on helping certain companies really who have amazing products and services and solutions scale to the world. So one company, for example, is BioArc, where we design these architecture systems and solutions in a way where it's like sustainable materials, it's energetically designed, where people who live in these structures will actually experience healing and greater connection to nature and each other just through the structure itself. Most people, they don't think about like the materials of the homes that they live in, the lighting, mold we think about a little bit here in Bali, but really just designing a space that's healthy by itself. You create certain shapes and forms. So that's like one example of a company where we currently do live in this capitalist world. So I'm happy to play in that game, to leverage that game, to then really bring out these products and services to the world. So the incubator, it finds these amazing entrepreneurs, innovators, problem solvers who have like actually a solution that if the world knew about it, it would make it a more conscious place. So there's the incubator side of it. There's also like the Maker Lab innovation hub, where people who are inventors and have amazing ideas, giving them the resources they need to actually create amazing world-changing solutions or rediscovering things that already exist. So that's like the main two things. I'd say the incubator, the innovation hub, and then what's been happening as well, when we talk about civilization design, it's creating a new model of how we live in such a way. So that's like kind of what this project at this location here is designing next generation communities, villages, and ultimately cities, where we design them in such a way, leveraging whether it's like the blockchain technologies, where you have DAO systems for governance and tokens in the community, where what's really exciting for me is through like the blockchain solutions, we have the opportunity to redefine value. So if we create a blockchain or use an existing one or create a new one, most likely, then we can actually define like what it means to receive these tokens and receive these currencies, and what are the incentive models behind it to receive it. So we can redefine value, redefine incentive models as a collective that encourages communication and action in such a way that is healthy for the individual and healthy for the collective. So that's kind of the first model, is creating these villages. Here in Bali is the first one, create other villages around the world, connect them all through like blockchain solutions. And then what's really important is for these villages for now and beyond to be regenerative in nature. So I feel like sustainability is nice, but that just, as an investor, that's like break even. It's like, okay, we're no longer destroying the planet, but if it's regenerative in nature, whatever we're giving, we're getting so much more out of it. From the plants being healthier, the vegetables being healthier, the people, the land, everything about it is regenerative in nature. So we can actually regenerate the earth. So what kind of organic farming systems are we using? What kind of materials are we using? And then how do we actually all live in harmony in such a way where to kind of stand on the shoulders of the people who stood before us. So, I appreciate a little bit of luxury at times and having space where I'm not trying to live in like a commune as like a typical hippie in that way, but to bring the best of these, people from before. Okay, how do we live that's in a way that's more conscious, that's more healthy, that's more connected, but also modern and nice and clean and abundant. So that's a little bit about civilization design. There's the incubator, the maker space, and then actually designing villages ourselves, and then also doing consulting for other people who have similar concepts and ideas.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you for that brief summary.
Yeah.
About a big topic.
Yeah, it's a big dream. It's a lifelong mission. It took me a while to kind of come to this. And it's really just about surrounding myself with people such as yourself and other partners I have who are just about it. And we all have different skills. And what I realized, one of my biggest lessons in 2020 was all of us have certain gifts and things that we love to do, that we're good at, and that could also serve others. And we could all kind of discover that personally, and we all could come together. We all really complement each other. We're all pieces of the same puzzle. So how to really create in this harmonic constellation of people where we all come together and support each other, where we're satisfied on an individual level and fulfilled, while also helps the collective. And I could go on and on, but it's a beautiful thing. I'm very honored to be a part of this.
Yeah. Yeah, I love hearing about it because it's like really a lot of the topics that I have, going on in my mind a lot.
Yeah.
And what I love also about your ideas is the idea of the accelerator, because what I often see is really good ideas, but they stay in these like tiny bubbles, or just on a very small scale. And then these people do amazing things, but just it doesn't get that bigger reach, and it doesn't go to the mainstream. And I think that's where it needs to go, because that's only how we can make changes.
Yeah.
If it's just like small communities or these hippie communities, they're good examples.
Yeah.
But I often find them isolated, and I could not imagine living there, like on a personal level. And I also think they don't have as big of a reach. So that idea to and mission to actually accelerate and like make those companies get to the next level. That's really, I think, a really important mission.
Agree.
Yeah.
Because there are these people who have solutions that work today, but it takes a lot to really bring it to market. You can have the solution, but how do you build around it? Like, you could have a prototype of something, but then to manufacture it and mass produce it is a whole other game. And how do you sell it? How do you distribute it? What are the supply chains involved? So I've been an entrepreneur for 10 years, and business has always been something since I was a kid that I just enjoy doing. It came a bit natural to me in some ways, but I also like worked on it and developed that skill. So we put these people together, the innovators, the entrepreneurs, and not everyone's an entrepreneur as well, like we talked about before. Some people are an amazing operator or an amazing designer or these sort of things. So my role, I really see, is to help coordinate these amazing people, put them in empowered positions. And we actually build legitimate companies and legitimate products and services and ideas and solutions that help a lot of people.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so is there anything about, like, can we know when the first are programs already in place, or is there any, we will mention at the end as well, but can people already get in touch if they, for example, then now like, oh, I have an amazing idea or company that I would like to be, get in touch with you about?
Yeah, at the moment, it's still very low key because I really want to focus on like having the first couple solutions already figured out and have a template that we can share to others, like, hey, this already works. And where the focus has been so far is in the development industry. So focus on like the architecture, the sustainable materials, modular buildings, and construction as a whole, and some engineering. So that's where we're focused at the moment. But if people are interested, they can reach out to me, I guess, on Instagram for now. We could talk about it at the end as well, but at Edward.Blair. And then if they have any cool ideas or they align with what we're up to, then we could talk about it.
Okay, we put everything in the show notes and descriptions.
Cool.
And so I'm talking about your programs and ideas also of villages. We're kind of in an interesting space right now, and also time. For because we're in the studio of the Nix, which is that co-working, co-living here in Bali, Tempaxiring, which actually, you're about to sign a lease to make this your new home and playground, right?
God willing, everything checks out, the due diligence checks out, and
So tell me a little bit about your vision for this place.
Yeah, sure. So once I first arrived in Bali, I've been here on and off for 3 years, but I arrived about 2 months ago. And when I arrived, I felt this calling that we need a physical place to bring other like minds together. It was as simple as that. It's like, we have a physical place to bring all these ideas and people together. Beautiful things will happen. I don't even need to know how it's going to happen. You just bring like-minded people together who are about it, who have ideas and solutions and who are creative and who are passionate about like actually building a better world. Bring us all together, amazing things will happen. So I felt this calling that we need a physical space, and was already like a week before this came on the market, was already looking for places. And then I see this opportunity and I'm like, wow, this is the best of all worlds, because there already is like a whole plug and play. There's already the studio that we're in right now. There's already, 4 stories. There's already the jungle land, all this sort of stuff. So it's like, okay, this is perfect. It already has an existing thing, and we could also build around it and build it into a potential village. So the vision in the beginning is really to have a space for the incubator. Have people come in who have ideas, so I guess if anyone's interested as well, they can reach out and they can come here, where we're going to have, like workshops, hackathons, just like brainstorms, masterminds, whiteboard sessions, have a place to actually incubate, create, and if anything really aligns and resonates and builds some momentum, then we can actually turn it into a company. So that's like one of the first ideas, is to have the incubator here, have the first generation of the makerspace here, where I already have friends who are inventors and have legitimate like inventions, and they're like creating things and exploring with things. So have a place for them, have a place for the community, for events. And that's kind of the first version. And making this place fully regenerative, self-sustainable, food forests, permaculture gardens, rainwater capture systems, like have a real working model of like, hey, this is a community that is fully self-sustainable in this modern way, but that's also building amazing things at the same time. And yeah, then we see what it could become, but then it can grow into an actual like village at one day.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of the perfect place for it, because it really has already that existing structure and beautiful, huge villa we're in right now.
Yeah.
And then that land around it where a village can develop. We're even looking into, some land around it, and it's like such a beautiful little paradise.
Yeah.
And what I'm always interested in when we talk about these village projects, especially in places like Bali, where you have a lot of tourism and people moving. Yeah. How much do you see it as being a long-term home or short-term rentals?
Yeah, I see a combination of both. I love the idea of it being free-flowing. I feel like maybe some communities in the past where people are kind of stuck there and they have to live there and it's isolated and remote. I don't resonate with that. So maybe some people will be here more long-term, and we could build like long-term residencies for those who want that. But also I love the idea of like people who have fresh ideas and who are just here for a month or two, they can come and go. So it'd be a combination of both. Yeah.
And what about if someone wants to invest? Like, do you see it as like people can invest and buy even a house for themselves, or will it be more rentals?
Yeah, it'll be all of it. I mean, people want to buy like a home, and we have like the whole system and infrastructure to build that. Then it has to be someone who's like a good match and that we align with and have to make sense in that way. Potentially we're exploring creating some sort of fund where people can invest into the fund, and then this fund would like run some of the community and can tokenize that as an asset, and people can earn income through that as an investor. But also what I love about the blockchain is people might not have money, but they have skills and time where they could be doing certain activities to earn community tokens and be compensated in that way. So yeah, people could invest in actual villas if it aligns, for sure. And people could invest into the projects that we're building out here as well. And then they can invest into the actual fund that can actually kind of steward and run the whole community as well.
Okay, that's cool. Can you tell me a little bit more about the fund, how that would be structured? And then I don't know if it's goes in the similar direction, but there is these DAOs that maybe you can explain more what that is and if that is an option for this project.
Yeah, it's definitely something we're exploring and want to explore. It's kind of like just do a crawl, walk, run approach. So in the beginning, when we were first coming in to take over this property, really want to just make it operational and profitable so it can sustain itself. So I want to master that before adding in like more complexity. But the vision for sure is to have some sort of DAO infrastructure. So for those who don't know, DAO is decentralized autonomous organization, where it's a fancy way of just saying it's like a blockchain based protocol that people get tokens as a part of it, and then they can vote on certain things. So it's like a form of governance, which is interesting. But depending on how many tokens people have, then they can vote on certain initiatives as like its most basic layer. I think there's ways of making it more nuanced, where certain people who are more qualified in certain things can have a bigger vote on different things. But the idea is absolutely to tokenize the entire thing, make it a DAO infrastructure where it is a community project, and certain people who are more qualified in certain things, whether it's through pure like pedigree or experience, or it's through the time and physical hours and work they put into it, you put it all together, then it'll be a community initiative.
Awesome. That's very exciting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see in which direction it's going. And and
I was going to say as well, for people who come, the idea is like, what does it actually mean to be a village? Like there'll be restaurants and cafes and farmers markets and events and products and services. And when you come through the tokens, then we basically create our own like ecosystem where people can be exchanging with these tokens with one another And then as we build these around the world as the vision, you can be coming in and out. So we have one here. I know there's like maybe some stuff in Europe you're thinking about, and other people as well. But we connect all of them, where then people, they can come here for a few months. Maybe there's a certain theme or a certain project they're into here, but maybe Europe, there's another one. Maybe Africa, there's another one. And the whole idea is to, just create our own like circular economy and redefine value, like I was talking about before. And then through that, you give people more ways to earn income, to generate wealth. Because at the moment with like the capitalist approach, it's always been a bit weird for me as an entrepreneur having employees where they're just kind of like working for a salary a lot of the times, but they're like building the thing with you. And there's ways of having like stock options and equity, but as like startups or something, it's a bit tricky and it's not always like super clean. But so with this, I see you really have the opportunity to give people more ownership in a project. And if that happens, they're going to feel more ownership, which means they're going to put more love and work in it, and also just more fair, I feel, as well. So you kind of create this. We're really looking to empower people as well in all these ways. Yeah,
exactly. Empowerment was also the word that I had in mind. And totally, like people, they want to be part of something, right? And they don't want to just like, these conventional jobs where people just work for someone just for the money. Then it's like, the money is important, but it's important what you do with it, and also your actions. And I think just people like to be part of something bigger that they create together. When I lived in communities, it was often just the living part, and I was missing to create together. Because that really like brings people together. I love all your visions and ideas, and I'm so excited to see to keep following your path and where it goes, and
thank you so
be
much.
Part of it.
I appreciate it. I remember my first time coming here, we sat down in the studio that we're in right now, and people just started picking up instruments and playing. And we like created a song. And that's like a metaphor for what this is. It's like a place to actually like create and innovate and incubate and truly empower people in a way that's like, you're a part of this movement, you're part of something bigger than yourself, and you'll be rewarded for it. It's not just like, you're not going to only feel good, but you'll be rewarded for it. And we all grow together in that way.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
So we're coming slowly to an end of our conversation. What would be, for people out there who also want to be part of something like this, what would be your advice or tip how they can get into, how they can start shifting into a more community-orientated life, or how they can start building a project like this, be part of it?
I think your podcast is a perfect place to start. I mean, the whole idea and vision, from my understanding, is to be talking about these projects and highlighting and showcasing them. So definitely staying tuned to everything you're going to do, for sure. And researching and finding them, because these projects exist. I would find a region that you like, whether anywhere in the world, and start looking for projects there. How would you go about it? I mean, there's social media, there's Discord, there's YouTube, there's finding like-minded people. If someone's already listening to this, then they're probably already connected, reaching out to us and asking us about the projects that we know. And then, seeing how you can contribute. Because being interested is one thing, but then it's like, okay, if you're interested and someone's already doing it and there's already some momentum or something happening, how can you give and contribute to that? And I just truly believe by like, you give my mentor taught me, like, you don't ask for fire and then give it wood. You have to put in the wood and then the fire comes. So I always want to lead with like, how can I give? How can I help? How can I support? Finding these initiatives. And someone like me, for example, I would love it if people reach out like, hey, I got this and this and this, and like find ways to create like, win-win scenarios. But that's just a couple ways I would think about it.
I agree.
Also, there's one more guy I follow. His name is Balaji Srinivasan. He has this concept called the network state.
Okay.
And he really helped educate me on how to really leverage like the blockchain with community to actually acquire physical land and build a community. Ends up, so he's someone I would follow as well. Okay. And everything he's doing with the network state. There's like a conference, there's a podcast, there's a lot of good material about that as well there.
Awesome. And is there, doesn't even need to be in that exact topic, but is there any book or even movie that transformed your life or shifted things? Anything that you can recommend?
Just any type of book? Yeah. My favorite book is The Alchemist.
Okay.
Yeah, by far. I read it maybe 5 times, because it's a book, whether you're 10 years old or 80 years old, there's wisdom in there. Yeah. And for me, it's not just like a story. It's truth in a lot of ways of how the universe works, and we can all relate to the main character, Santiago, and his journey of finding his personal treasure. You read the book as well?
Yeah.
So, So yeah, that book changed my life for sure in a tangible way. It's not just like, oh, that was a cool book. I love reading stories because then we can kind of take the meaning for it in ways that we interpret it, and just looking at life in that way where there's like omens and there's signs, and it's a tangible thing. If you could really see how the universe is communicating to you, helps live a more peaceful and harmonious life, in my experience.
Yeah, actually, I read that book when I was a teenager, I think, and
cool.
I think I want to read it again.
Yeah, when I first read it, I was like reading it like once a year for the first like 3 years. Yeah,
I love reading it.
Yeah.
Then, if you could send one message to humanity, what would it be?
Find what really makes you come alive, and share that with others.
Yeah, it's a beautiful message.
Thank you.
And to close our conversation, I would like to know just 3 things that you're grateful for.
Yeah, grateful for my family, grateful for my ancestors who came before me to give me the opportunity that I have right now to be who I am and everything they had to go through. Only 3?
You can do more, of course.
I'll keep it to the point. Grateful for my family and my ancestors. Grateful for the opportunity that I have to be talking about these things and working on these things. It's truly an honor and a privilege to be like working on all these projects. It's like the biggest blessing. And grateful for my health and my connection to the divine.
Yeah, so many things to be grateful for.
Yeah.
One of the things for me right now is to do this project, to start the podcast, and for you showing up and talking to me, and obviously there's much more, but yeah, thank you for all the listeners out there, and thank you.
Thank you.